Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Mental Health Talk with yours truly. I am Christina McIntyre. I hope that y'all had the best week that y'all could have. If things didn't go the way that you wanted them to go, let's not worry about yesterday. We only can focus on the now and prepare for the future. We only can control what we can control, and if we can't, we cannot worry about it. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram, Become Your C. Visit my website, www.becomeyourc.com, where I talk about our mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual aspects of ourselves to unveil our true identity. Also on YouTube, BYC, Become Your C, Facebook, BYC, Become Your C, and I'm also on TikTok at Become Your C. I do have my book available for purchase. It's called Become Your Sea 21 Poems to Ignite Your Spiritual Journey. I wrote this book in order to waken up, our thought processes and challenges our mind to be able to think outside of the box. So if you're interested, there is a link on my Facebook page, Christina McIntyre, to purchase that. Also, I have my jewelry for sale as well, the chakras to help you on your spiritual journey, just to give you a little aid in the process. I know going through any journey in life can be difficult, so I created these in mind for you to help you along the way. Also, it is becoming around holiday season. A lot of people in our community needs help. So I wanted to kind of pair with someone, do something for the homeless out there. So if anyone is interested in pairing up with me, I can bake or do something to help give back to our community. So message me as soon as possible because we are approaching November and then December is right around the corner. Also, this month is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. I did a segment last week about this. It's very touchy to me. I am a survivor of domestic violence, and I experienced that growing up as well with my mother. I think it's important that people know that there is help and that you deserve the best that you can get out of any relationship. And so if you find yourself in a situation where you feel afraid and then you don't have an outlet, you can call 1-800-799-7233 or visit them on hotline.org. I just spoke at a domestic violence event last week. It's called the Domestic Abuse Project here in Delaware County. They have a location, I believe, at the police department in Chester. So if you need help, you can do it anonymously. Please go get the help that you need so that you can start to live the life. You don't deserve to be abused by anyone. You deserve better than that. So this week, I wanted to talk about how does our environment affect our mental health? So we all know that everything around us affect us in some type of way. Our environment, the weather, the people that we have in our lives, our community affects us, and so we got to find ways in order to deal with that and to deal with it according to our mental health, because we want to make sure that we as mental health, I don't want to say survivors, but people that have mental health issues, it's important that you watch what you allow in your life because it definitely affects us, and even people in general, everything affects us, and so we have to go about things accordingly. um, as relation to people. So our environment is, or our life is shaped around our environment and the people that play the role in it. And our first people that we see is our parents, right? So our family life, that shapes us, shapes who we are. Our friends shapes who we are. And so it's important that in the beginning, especially if you have children, to provide the best life that you can. There are no perfect parents, right? So you can only give what you can give, but try to provide the best that you can, because what they learn in the household affects them as they go out into the community and affects them as an adult as well. I was just talking to my sister yesterday about how me and her have similarities to our mom, even though we don't necessarily, we didn't try to do certain things. It's just embedded in us subconsciously. And so it's important that the people that we have in our life provide a good nurturing environment. Also our friends as well. We can't pick our family, but we pick our friends. And as we grow up, in school and stuff like that, we gravitate towards people. They also shape who we are. So it's important to figure out that, or not figure out, but it's important to have people in our life that is going to help us grow. We all go through experiences, right? We maybe get caught up into things, and we have friends sometimes. We all probably have them friends that don't necessarily do great things, and so they might um, deter us from our growth and take us down a road that we shouldn't be going. So definitely pay attention to or the people that are around you. Um, the weather can affect our mental health. So during the colder seasons, they have something called seasonal affective disorder, right? It's when there's not a lot of sunlight, and so without sun, sun energizes us, and without it, it causes us to feel more depressed. And so a lot of people suffer from this during like these seasons. And so what we must do in order to combat that, we gotta try to get as much sunlight as possible. And if that means taking a walk on some days that you can, or have bright lights around you to increase your mood. Also, listening to music can also affect your mood as well. You want to do something that increases what we're not getting, the I'm sorry, vitamin D from the sun. Um, Also, wearing vibrant colors can affect your mood as well, especially if we can't get natural sunlight. So maybe wear some yellows or some bright oranges. I don't know, whatever goes with your skin tone, you can do that. Um, Also, loud noises, right, and crowds. So in bigger communities, there are more people, right? And so if you suffer from mental health issues, it can seem overwhelming. Like for me, I don't like to be in large crowds. I feel like I'm getting overwhelmed, and so I myself kind of distance myself away from that. So if you can't control the community you live in, it's ways that you can do that. Like if you really don't like people like that, you can find small groups of people. You can do things on your own. There's ways of going around that. Now, you can't control, like, especially if you have a job. So that plays a part in it too. So we have to work, and sometimes we get to choose what we do as a job. Sometimes we don't. And so if we have to work in order to provide, and the environment that we work in is toxic, right? You got co-workers that are constantly talking negatively, and it's a lot of gossip and drama that can affect you as well, especially if you're not into that type of stuff. I believe in transfer of energy. If people's energy is not good, it will affect you as well. So we definitely have to pay attention to the things around us. We don't think they affect us in a way, maybe not right away, but subconsciously it does. They also said in high polluted areas, well, when there's a lot of people, there's a lot of noises, there's a lot of cars, and the air quality affects us as well. They said that children that grow up in high polluted areas are more likely to develop depression later on. So sometimes we can't control where we live at, right, where we grow up, but it's important that we look around us, especially if we're seeking an apartment or a house, to pay attention to the surroundings. When a lot of times when families are house searching, they look at the communities, the schools, and what's around them. That way that their child can grow up in a good, vibrant community. Cluttered spaces also affect our mental health. So cluttered spaces can be anything. This is going on with the people too and the crowds. But your home, if your home is cluttered, your car is cluttered, I myself, I am getting way better at it. My car used to be cluttered. I would clean it out every day, and it seemed like more stuff just piled in. But I have been consistent in the last couple of months of keeping my car clean. I believe like a clean space definitely can improve your mental quality as well. If you have a home and you have a lot of unnecessary things there, it's time to maybe clean out that closet. Like sometimes we hold on to things that we're not using, right? If you have clothes that you have not worn in 5 years, try donating them. It's just taking up unnecessary space. Or you have, let's say you were in relationships and you have like knickknacks and stuffed animals or whatever gifts from that relationship that you're no longer in, get rid of that. I believe in energy of items as well. So if you're holding on to something, that means you're holding on to the past you can't let go, and that's affecting your mental health. So sometimes we have to declutter our lives. And this doesn't necessarily mean you have to do it all in one day. Just take your time. Like last year, I cleaned up my whole apartment, cleaned the walls, and it felt so much better. The air felt like it was flowing through there. So definitely your living space affects how you feel. But like right now, I've been busy all week. I haven't had time to clean my apartment. I feel the drainage from that. So I have to make sure that my space is clear, especially for my mental health, because what's important is that we want to improve the quality of our mental health as possible. And so if we can control certain things, we can. Like I know sometimes with depression, cleaning up, taking a shower is the last thing on your mind. But just start small. The more small steps that you do increases to larger steps. Also, like again, I talked about the work environment. So people can affect your mental health. Um, Being indirect and having indirect communications, and it causes conflicts, right? When people don't know how to communicate effectively, that can affect your mental health, especially if you're a person that craves effective communication, and people are just yelling or they're talking but they're not listening, right? And so for you, someone that is suffering from mental health issues, it can be overwhelming. It can increase anxiety, and your stress level can go up. Also lack of social support. So if you're in a situation and you don't have social support, like that's from your family, your friends, it can affect your mental health in a negative way. We all are meant to be around people. We're not meant to be alone and isolated. And so when you're isolated, here comes depression. When you're isolated, you may have suicidal thoughts. So it's important that we have good quality social support. Now, it does seem hard a lot of times, especially if you have social phobia. You don't want to be around people, but you want to be around people. So it's kind of trying to find a balance. And if you know that you're suffering like this, if you want to be around people and you can't because you do have social phobia, there are therapists, there are psychiatrists that can help you with that. You have to take the first step and an initiative to go and get the help that you need. And now this is a process. You do it step by step, right? If you can't go out in public, they have therapists available online now that you can speak with to help you on your journey. Our cultures and values affects our environment. So, so certain cultures do things a certain way, right? And if you have a culture value and you exist in the mainstream culture, people can judge you based on that. And so you kind of feel like you can't be who you are. You can't believe how you believe because when you do and you speak that way or you do certain things, people judge you for them. And so it's important to, one, hold on to your own values and beliefs, but also for everyone else to accept people for who they are, what they believe in. Just because someone believes differently than you doesn't mean that necessarily that you are better than them. They grew up a different way. They believe a different way. And we're supposed to, right? We're not all supposed to be like, we have a free mind. And so what a free mind does is it helps us create um, our own belief systems and our own values and stuff. And they're going to differentiate between people. And so it's important not to judge people based on this, but you do kind of feel isolated when you don't think like everyone else, right? If you think differently like everyone else, and they put you in this box like you're weird, you're strange, oh, you don't belong here, you need to go back to this country. Um, why are you like that? Is something wrong with you? So we get these constant labels of when we're different. So we need to stop doing that to each other, and we need to stop doing that to ourselves. I think sometimes we do that to ourselves, right? Like we question our own belief system based off of someone else's opinion. Someone else's opinion does not matter, right? It's what you believe. If you truly in your heart believe that and those are the values, then stick with it. I always say people will come around. The people that you need will come around, right? I always believe that God supplies the people that we need in our life. And so if someone is not being friendly to you or judging you based on how you believe, then there's something wrong with them, right? We should never try to change someone to adapt to our life, because maybe what you're doing is not the right way of doing it, but you believe it, and so why should you hold someone else to that? Also, poverty can affect us as well. So if you grow up in poverty, and if you have, like I did before I moved with my aunt, it definitely can affect you. You don't have enough food to eat, right? You're wearing the same clothes for a few days, or you're wearing your siblings' clothes. You're waiting in line to eat because money ran out, or you live in a rundown house, you have mold in the house. It's a lot of things that can affect. So, growing up in poverty, you don't have the same benefits as, let's say, a better, well-off community. And I know from experience growing up, we didn't have a lot of money. So we used to live in homeless shelters. And I know from my brothers, they got affected by it. People used to tease them for the clothes that they wore. We didn't have name brand stuff. And I think for girls, it may be a little bit easier. But it definitely affects your mental status. So you're trying to be friends with people, but they're judging you based on something that you can't control. And it kind of isolates you in a way. So you can't make friends because people are making fun of you because of something that you are wearing that you have no control over. And it's no one's fault of being in poverty. There's a lot of people in poverty that try, right? Try and try hard, try to find a job, try to do this, try to better themselves, and they just can't seem to get out. And so that kind of pressure affects us mentally, and it could be in a bad way. It leads to depression, it can lead to suicide, it leads to substance abuse. That's the only way they see out, right? Your environment definitely shapes how you feel and what you do because of it. And again, substance abuse can increase depending on your environment, as well as domestic violence. So it's important to pay attention to the situation you're in, your environment, because you want to improve your overall well-being, and everything affects us, and you want to increase more positivity. Again, whatever you can control, right? Some things that we can't control at this moment, but we can do things that can increase the probability that we can get what we need and get into a safer environment. So again, if what can we do? If you can change something, do it, right? Let's say you're stuck at a job. You know that environment is toxic. People are constantly arguing, yelling. You're doing the best that you can, but you don't feel valued, right? What do you have to do next? You got to find something better. I'm not saying it's easy. Job hunting can be hard, but I believe that putting whatever you want out there in the universe and doing the work behind it, everything that you want and need can be provided for you, but you have to be willing to do the work to it. So again, if it's your job, put in applications, figure out what you want to do. Maybe you need to take up a trade. Maybe you need to start your own business. It's a lot of things that you can do. I'm not saying it's easy. It's going to be a progress over time, but you can do it. The people in your life, right? Um, if you're a child, no, you can't control your parents or whatever. But if you're in a relationship and that relationship is not helping you grow or being supportive, and you're in a domestic violence situation, you have to get yourself out of there. The longer that you stay in something that's not growing and moving, the more damage you're doing to yourself. And over time, it takes time to heal, and then that's another issue in itself. Even friends, sometimes we're holding on to friends that no longer serve our purpose. If you're the friend that's always reaching out or always giving, or you're trying to do something and your friend's always constantly putting you down, that is not a positive environment. You can't thrive in that environment. So you must remove yourself from that environment. No, it's not easy. It's not easy saying goodbye to people that we've known for a while or we've grown to love. But love doesn't hurt, love doesn't put down. No, people are not going to support you and everything that you do, but sometimes the words people can say can affect us, right? Especially if we're struggling with some mental health issues, right? Especially confidence, self esteem, and people are constantly putting us down. That dimish, the, excuse me, I can't even speak. Diminishes our values, our value of ourselves, and so we want to be around people that see us as worthy and valuable, and just because someone's been your friend or your family member for a while does not mean they need to be in your life. I was having this conversation with someone. Um, I do have a mother that is living, and a lot of people don't realize that our mom is toxic to us. And so we try to have a relationship with her. And people be like, well, that's your mom. Well, I'm grateful. Our mom birthed us. She tried the best that she could. But when someone is toxic in your life, you can't allow them to be, because that energy, again, will feed off of you. You have positive energy, and it's taken from you. And it's an unfortunate situation, and people really don't get it. Oh, your mom's oh, it's not that bad. Well, for us, it has been that bad for me and my brothers and sisters. And so we don't allow that in our life so that we can have peace. Don't allow people in your life that take away your peace of mind. That's the only one thing that we can control. We cannot control everything that goes on around us, but we can control what goes on in us. And if someone is in your life, mother, father, brother, sister, cousin, spouse, whatever, and if they break in your peace, then you need to get rid of them so that you can live the best life that you can, so you can be at comfort, so that you can be relaxed, so that you can thrive. You can't thrive in toxicity. So your mindset has to change in order, right? So if you can't change your environment right now immediately, your mindset has to change. You have to change the way that you navigate. Let's say you're at a job that you don't want to be at, right? So you're going to do the best that you can in that moment while you're looking for someone else, something else. So having that shift can prevent you from feeling overwhelmed, prevent you from going about it in the wrong way. Like for me, sometimes I've been in jobs where I know that I can do better. So I'm like, okay, I can do this temporary till I get to where I need to be. And that's what you have to do. It's just a shift in how you think about things. Also, if you're in a relationship that you don't need to be in, or you have people, um, right away, especially if it's domestic violence, you can't leave sometimes immediately. So you have to change your mindset. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to prepare myself. So there are steps. It's not easy changing your mindset, especially if it's been ingrained for a while. So you do step by step every day. You try to increase your knowledge. You try to make yourself better. You change your thought patterns. You say positive affirmations. You say mantras every day, because over time, that'll improve your quality of thinking. Our cells respond to what we think, right? So we're trying to reprogram ourselves to thinking positively, like things will happen. I believe in a thought process and manifestation. Every time we think our thoughts, it's put out there, and that affects and attracts what we need. So we have to try to get on the pattern of putting out more positive than negative. Declutter, if you have clutter, that's one thing I talked about. Like if you haven't clutter around you, um, it's a process, especially if you're a hoarder, and no shame in that. Like people do what they do, especially if you're depressed. Slowly start decluttering your life. Items, people, places. You don't realize that certain things, especially if you suffer from mental health, smells, um, roads that you drive down, people, they can be a trigger. And so if you know this, you have to eliminate yourself from that situation. Sometimes we can't control where we go or what we do or what we smell, but learning a way of handling it when it comes about, right? Like I have certain triggers that I don't even know it's a trigger until it happens. And so what I'm learning to do is to breathe in a moment and take a step back. If I feel unsafe in a situation, I remove myself from that situation. People really don't understand. It's not for them to understand, it's for you. You deserve to feel safe and you deserve to feel stable. And so if you're in a situation where you don't feel neither one of them, remove yourself. And so we want to increase our mood, right? And one way to increase your mood is to eat healthier. I meditate every day. I urge people, if you don't meditate, try it out. YouTube has so many videos. It will definitely um, help change your thought process and make you feel better, make you feel more relaxed. Get outside if you can't. Eat vibrant foods, like foods of different colors. Wear vibrant things. Get up and make yourself feel good, right? A lot of times, it's comfortable to dress down. Wear some nice clothes, put on some earrings if you are a woman. Like that makes you feel better. So do things that make you feel better. Music can help improve your overall quality of mental health. Depending on the music, right? Music sends vibrations through our body. And so, depending on the type of music that you listen to, can improve your overall quality. I try to listen to stuff that's going to empower me. Yes, sometimes I listen to stuff that is not so great. And then quickly I turn it off because I can see how it affects my mood. So, pay attention to what you're listening to and what you're seeing. It's okay to walk away from things that add stress to your mental health, physically and mentally, because what affects us physically definitely overall affects us mentally. What we allow to happen to us affects us. And so we have to take control back over our lives. We have to take responsibility over our lives. Like we can't control everything at this moment, but we can control some things. And then those things that you can control, you have to do something about it. I think sometimes we put too much responsibility on other people instead of accepting them for ourselves. It's not easy. I suffer from panic, anxiety, OCD, PTSD, and depression. And every day is not the same. But I can tell you from experience, as long as you try each day and give your best that day, that's all that matters. And it might not be 100% that day, but that's the best that you can give that day. And you owe it to yourself to provide the best quality of life because we're only here for a certain amount of time. And I want people to realize the effects of everything around us. Everything around us affects us in us. Even the universe, right? When planets are in retrograde, when they're in retrograde, that affects us, how we feel on the inside. And so it's important to pay attention to your environment. Yes, as a child, you can't pick and choose, but as an adult, you have a choice and say so over what happens in your life. So let's make choices that's going to help us grow. Let's be around people that's going to help us grow and feed us love and support and nourishment. Let's choose places that we feel comfort, right? That we feel at peace. So that is pretty much it. Just wanted people to know that our environment affects how we feel, and how we feel will affect how our behavior is. And so it's important that we try to change our minds and try to pay attention to everything that goes on around us so that we can live our life peacefully. I want to thank you for tuning in. Tune in each and every Sunday at 12 p.m. on cmpradio.net on Facebook. Also visit my website, www.becomeyourc.com, where I talk about our mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual aspects of ourselves to help us on our spiritual journey. Also, if you're interested in my book or the chakra jewelry to help you on your spiritual journey, you can message me if you're interested in learning about the chakras as well. Also, I want to do something to help the homeless for the holidays coming up. If you're interested or if you got something going on, please message me, Christina McIntyre, on Facebook. Also, this is domestic Violence Awareness Month. If you don't feel safe, if you're in a situation where you need to get out, please get the help that you need. Chester has a domestic abuse project located in the police department. Also, they have a 1-800 number, 1-800-799-7233, or you can visit hotline.org. They can get you help. Remember, you owe it to yourself to be the best you possible. Let's do things that help us grow, and let's start making a life for ourselves that we love to be in. Till next time.